Hi, Nick Dogle, North State Law. We safeguard your professional license so you can get back to business. Today we're going to be answering the question, which is what is the process when a complaint is made against a law enforcement officer's certification? So law enforcement officers have to be certified. They are certified by the North Carolina Criminal Justice Training and Standards Commission. So that commission is tasked with regulating law enforcement officers' training and also their certifications. When a complaint comes into that particular commission, they obviously, first things first, start an investigation into the complaint. That will include reaching out to the law enforcement officer that is under investigation, providing them with a copy of the complaint, asking them to submit a written statement, and then eventually the investigator will wrap up his or her report, and they will send their report over to the Probable Cause Commission within the North Carolina Criminal Justice Standards and Training Commission. They have a probable cause committee that will review the allegations, they will review the investigator's report, and they will make a recommendation over to the licensee. And that recommendation is going to be anywhere from, hey, we didn't find enough probable cause to go forward with this, so we're going to dismiss it. They could come back and say, hey, we did find probable cause to believe that that there was a violation here, and we're proposing to implement this penalty. Technically, per the administrative code, they can go a lot of different routes. They can just go straight and institute a hearing. They could typically, and this is what they typically do, they go the route of, notifying the licensee and saying, hey, we found probable cause to believe that there was a violation here. Here's what our recommendation is. If you want to proceed and accept this recommendation, then we can do what's called a consent order and get everything wrapped up. If the law enforcement officer does not want to take what the recommendation is, then he or she can request a hearing. Now, this is where things get a little bit different regarding this particular licensing entity and other licensing entities. Typically, if you get a recommendation that you don't want, and it's a state agency like the North Carolina Criminal Justice Training and Standards Commission, is you can just file a petition with the Office of Administrative Hearings for a contested case. This is a little bit different. Here, the North Carolina Criminal Justice Training and Standards Commission, I'm just going to call it the commission. The commission will accept the request for hearing from the law enforcement officer or their representation, their attorney, and they will go ahead and essentially just file a letter with the Office of Administrative Hearings saying that the law enforcement officer has requested a hearing, and they'll put it on their letterhead and file it with the Office of Administrative Hearings. And then you'll go through that process and you'll actually have an opportunity for a hearing in front of an administrative law judge. Once the administrative law judge has concluded the hearing, that particular administrative law judge is going to ask for what's called proposed decisions. Each side is going to get a transcript of the hearing. They're going to go through everything, and they're going to come up with what they want as the judge's decision. So they submit all that. The judge comes back. They look at everything, and they, will either take parts of each side's proposal for decision, I should say, or they'll create their own. Most of the time, they'll take a large percentage of what one side has done. Basically, it's the winning side. So they'll do their own proposal for decision, and then they'll submit their proposal for decision over back to the commission. And you go through a process where, you have a hearing set up in front of the commission. You don't represent every evidence. You'll have opportunities to make exceptions and argue in front of the commission why the proposal for decision should or should not be, made final as a final agency decision by the commission. It's a really weird process, to be quite frank. When you go through the Office of Administrative Hearings, the judge's decision is, depending on the agency, most of them it's not final. It goes back to the agency for ratification or for them to implement their own final agency decision. So that's the process up to the final agency decision. If you get a final agency decision and you're like, well, I'm not taking the suspension or revocation, or I don't like this public reprimand, or whatever the case may be, that can actually be appealed to Superior Court, which is state court in North Carolina, and you can have your case heard in front of an actual Superior Court judge. Everything that the Superior Court judge that is going to consider is going to be what's called on the record. That's going to be your exhibits. It's going to be a transcript of the hearing, things of that nature. So that's kind of the long and short of it as far as that process is concerned. If you've got any questions, please check out the blogs on my website. That is www.northstatelawfirm.com. You can also check out the other videos on my YouTube channel. If you don't find what you're looking for in either one of those spots, please give my office a call. It's 919-521-8810, and you get a free 15-minute discovery call with a member of my staff. You can also text that 919-521-8810 number if you'd like to schedule an appointment as well. So I hope everybody has a great day, and thank you for keeping North Carolina safe. Bye-bye.